Hello, welcome to the release party. I'm not sure how many people are watching because of the software that I'm using to stream, but if anyone joins late, you can just always rewind and start from the beginning. I think we're just going to start off by listening to the first song. I'm going to stream it here. There's going to be the lyrics up on the screen, and I will turn my camera off for this first one. And if you have any questions about the song or any comments, we can address all of them as soon as the song's over. But I'm going to go ahead and get everything started with the first song here. It's called Glowing Up. It features an awesome artist named Slim DeWitt. He's a Christian hip hop artist, and he has a really motivational, uplifting style. And he's also got a very poetic and storytelling style. And I thought both of those would be perfect for the voice of this album. And that's why I asked him to be featured on the very first song to help set the tone. So, just going to go ahead and play this. And yeah, let's listen.
And I thought I'd never grow from living in all the projections of family and friends, but they didn't know who I wanna be and who I wanna see, so they holding me to before. But I'm perfecting me and protecting peace, so now they get to see who I show. And every day there's a different version. Past trying to catch me, but I'm just a virgin. Steady conversion from the me that was hurting, suppressing and swerving my burdens. But now I'm just learning to cope and deal, to hold hope and heal, so I'm turning. This is my journey, so don't be holding me to your memories of me growing, and I am learning. I was past the point of feeling low, hurting folks who when they get too close didn't know what it was I was searching for. It was my soul. I never thought when I looked in the mirror that I'd be appearing more broke than before. So I poked in, then I poked in, then I poked in, then I poked, then I poked at it, then I poked at it, then I poked at it some more. Like I was sitting there talking to Morpheus, and then he asked about the bunny hole. Then I opened up the story of my life and I rewrote the chapters that follow my light. It was dim, but look out for tomorrow. I promise I'll glow. So I'm glowing up.
Okay, welcome back. For those of you just now joining us, thank you so much for being here. I did check the stream while that last song was playing, and it looks like my video is severely lagging. I think that's just because my computer is super overrunning, so it's going to look like you're watching a PowerPoint of pictures of me talking, but it sounds like the audio is still intact. But okay, I see a few people are here. Thank you so much for joining. I really appreciate that you are here to watch and stream all of these songs with me. So I wanted to talk a little bit about that last song, which was called Glowing Up. By the way, we're on Spotify, we're on Apple Music, we're on YouTube, everywhere you can stream us. And I wanted to show you the profile page of the artist who was featured there, who rapped that incredible verse about shrugging off your burdens, the self-imposed barriers to success. He's a really awesome guy. He is a teacher based in New Jersey, and I connected with him through a couple of my teacher friends from Boston. I actually found him on Instagram, noticed he was a mutual friend, asked a friend about him. Friend's like, he's really good, check out his stuff. So I did, and I messaged him, I think, a little over a year and a half ago. It was about maybe a little under a year and a half ago. I think it was February of last year. I asked him if he'd be interested in doing something with me. I sent him some samples of some things that I had been working on, and he thought that they were great. And he had already kind of had an outline of something in his head. And then it took us about a year to wrap up that song, because February of this year is when we finally had everything together. I sent him the fully mixed version for some edits. He had a few really great tips on things to, make louder, other things to make softer, some effects to add in, and it ended up sounding really great. And in that time, when I approached him, he was still teaching full time. He was doing music as like a side project, as his passion. In that time, he has blown up on TikTok. He now has over 115,000 followers who are there just to watch his daily or weekly raps about his life, about how things are going. He's a super awesome guy, really great. Like I said before that last song, he's got a very uplifting message. And that's kind of the whole theme of this album. That's why this one's called Glowing Up. I think every song that I've chosen for this one kind of feeds into this idea of getting better as time goes on, working hard on yourself to become a better person. And so I thought that was a great song to start the album with, to really set the tone. And yeah, this is from Slim DeWitt. Go check out his original stuff. It's really great. He released a single and an EP last year that were just really good. I liked his EP because it wasn't just a random collection of songs. The whole EP told a story. So you start with the first song, and it kind of introduces you to the characters, and all of the musical themes, all the lyrical themes are carried throughout each song. It's really just a work of art all the way through. So I encourage you to go listen to that. And that's my story on that song. So if you've got any questions for that song or about the writing process, leave them in the chat. And in the meantime, I want to tell you about the merch. This link is linked from the Facebook page. I can make another post on the Facebook page with this link. But we've got the album art here, and you can buy the merch. It's a little bit expensive, but I'll tell you why it's expensive here in a second. So let me resize this screen so you can see more of it with my video. We've got a dad hat, we've got a normal baseball cap, we've got the 3/4 sleeves. I love a 3/4 sleeve. We've got long sleeve shirts, short sleeve shirts, tank tops, crew necks, hoodies. This is listed in euros because I'm in Germany right now. But the reason why these are kind of expensive is because I've managed to source everything locally. That means if you're living in Boston, you buy a shirt, this shirt is going to be printed at a Boston-based screen printer. Then it's going to be shipped to you locally, which means that we're promoting local business. We're not giving our money to, businesses that take advantage of developing countries. We're not going to give our money to businesses that are sourcing their products unethically. Everything comes from something local, and that's why it's going to be a little bit expensive. I mean, $40 for a crew neck, that's not cheap. $50 for a hoodie, that's not cheap. But I did this that way the people living in your community, wherever you are when you're buying this merch, those people are going to be getting the money. There's stickers, there's phone cases. The stickers are probably the cheapest thing. Just get one. It's a couple bucks. Slap it on your laptop, slap it on your guitar case, put it on a pole somewhere outside so we can start spreading the word. And that's the merch. I'll talk about it more as time goes on. But let's take a look at the second track on this EP. Excited for you to hear it. I'm going to play it. I'm going to turn my camera off again so that way we can focus on the music.
It's hard to articulate the way that your smile can save me from all of the doubt and the pain trapped inside my brain. Kaylin, don't keep me how grateful I've been for you. It's hard to distill exactly how I feel. I hope this song will do. I cannot overstate. It's hard to Kaylin, don't keep me waiting.
Okay, so that was song number 2. That song is called Caitlin. And the story behind this song is there are a lot of songs named after women. A lot of them. Things from, I don't know, Philomena by the Lumineers. Songs like, no, that's not a Lumineers song. That's by the Decemberists. There's songs about all sorts of different names, but I didn't ever find one that was named Caitlin, which is the name of my girlfriend. And so I thought it would be a fun writing activity to see if I could write one that wasn't aggressively cheesy or embarrassing to me. So those were the constraints. And I think I met those constraints. I'll let you be the judge of that. And I think there was probably also a bet somewhere that I couldn't make a rhyme with Caitlin, so I did like half a dozen rhymes with that word, with that name. And to be honest, I think 98% of the lyrics I wrote in my head on a drive home from my parents' house last summer. Ophelia is by the Lumineers. Yes, thanks, Rob. Philomena is by the Decemberists. Yes, so I was driving home. I used to have weekly dinners at my, or like basically every other Lumineer song. Yes, great. We used to have weekly dinners at my parents' house last summer because I was living kind of close to them, but it was a 45-minute drive for me. And on the way home, sometimes I would listen to a podcast, sometimes I would listen to music, but my phone was dead, so I wasn't going to listen to a podcast, and I checked the radio stations, nothing good was on, so I just turned the radio off, and I had been tossing around this idea that I mentioned of trying to write this song with these constraints, and so as I was driving, I was just like playing around with words in my head, trying to come up with a list of rhyming words. And pretty much by the time I got home, I had all of the words together. So I plugged my phone in, waited for it to charge, opened up my notes app, and typed it all out. And then a few days later, I was thinking about the words. I came up with a melody. And from this melody, I was actually working with a jazz piano teacher at the time, and we were doing this exercise where we took a melody from like a traditional chord progression, like maybe you're just playing a C chord, a G chord, an A minor chord, and an F chord, and maybe there's a pop song that has these chords. And the exercise that I was doing with my piano teacher at the time was to take a melody from one of these well-known pop songs and try to see what other chords would fit with that melody. You look at what notes are in this melody, and then you look at all of the infinite combinations of chords that you can have on a piano and see what else could I use to make this fit, to make it more interesting. And so then I ended up applying that same practice to the melody that I had come up with for this song, put it all together, and that's how you got this one. And yes, question from the chat says, do I always try to work within constraints when writing songs? That's a great question. No. Sometimes I write songs, they just come to me. Like I'm just sitting at the piano and I'm playing something and it feels really nice. So I just keep playing it over and over and over until I develop that idea further. And then I just come up with some random words that go with it. And then other times I will give myself a writing prompt for fun to try to fit into it. Most of the times these constraint songs don't make it onto an album. I think probably I write 2 or 3 songs that don't make a release for every song that does make a release. And this is the only one that had a constraint that made it to a release so far. So thanks for your question. I wanted to talk a little bit, before we get into the next song, I wanted to talk a little bit about the album artwork. So I will show you who did this artwork. He is an awesome guy. Another guy I met through teaching in Boston. His name is Demetrius Wilson. He is currently in New York City working at an art gallery. This man is incredible, and he did this album artwork for me. I love everything he does. I've bought several of his pieces before. He also has merch that I have purchased. And my computer's, really slow, but here's his Instagram. You should definitely go check him out. He's just an amazing painter. He's got his own unique style. Here he is. But he also does really great collage work and really great digital artwork where he'll like paint something and he'll take a picture of that painting and then he will, use digital painting programs to either enhance it or to lay that image on top of other art. He's really awesome. Hey, what's up, Chocolate? Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate that you've joined. So that's Demetrius. He did the album artwork. I was super pleased with it. I thought maybe we could kind of go over some of the previous iterations of the artwork and just go through where we started to where we ended up. So you've already seen where it ends up. So let's show the very first drafts, and you can kind of see our creative process through there. So this was the first one that he sent me. As you'll notice, this heart is what ended up making the final cut, but I wasn't too pleased with the background. It's awesome, it's beautiful. I just didn't feel like it was right in this particular instance. So then he tried red. He tried a few different shapes, a few different feelings out, a few different colors out, with the original shape on one of the other colors. This one was my second favorite. It's more of an abstract version of the same idea. I thought this was really great. I was actually really torn and really sad that I wasn't able to go with this one. But we might use this for something later on down the line. Then there's this one, which is really close. This is just kind of a more abstracted version of what we ended up with. And then we decided on the original idea, the very first idea that he sent me, but with just a plain black background. And then we added on the fonts. There's this one. There was a few different choices for fonts. And we ended up going with this fourth one right there. So this is the official artwork. And that's that story. While I've got you, before we slip into song number 3, one more time, let you know about the merch page. The cool thing about this merch is that everything here is sourced locally. So no matter where you're living, you live in Kansas, you live in Boston, you live in Germany, you can order merch and the merch will be created in your area locally. If you're in Boston, a Boston-based screen printer is going to lay this image on this color of shirt and send it your way. So that's really cool. We were able to source everything locally. I will post this merch link. It's already actually on the Facebook page, but I will post it again as soon as we're done here, so you can check that out. And let's talk about the third song. Actually, let's listen to the third song, and then we'll talk about it. So this one's called Sometimes. By the way, I'm sipping on a little bit of bubbly rosé tonight. It's 10 p.m. in Germany, 10:30. And if it's 4:30 where you are, 3:30 where you are, feel free to join me.
Sometimes when I look into your eyes, I'm greeted by the ocean. My heart swells like the tide. Sometimes when I hear your voice, I'm greeted by a symphony. You're my favorite song. Sometimes when your lips touch mine, you taste like a memory that grows sweeter over time. Sometimes when I take you in my arms, I feel my bleeding heart leap right out my chest. Sometimes when I see you smile, it fills me with butterflies. They last for a while. Sometimes when you pull me close, it feels like I'm coming home. Deep in my bones, sometimes when I make you laugh, I feel you coming back from the edges of your past. Sometimes when you call my name, you ease my worried mind. You free me from the pain. Sometimes sometimes when you touch me, I turn to stone. Sometimes when you leave me, I just wanna go home. Sometimes I get angry and I treat you rough. Sometimes I get stupid and I fuck up, but you come back every time. And I want you to know that I'm caught up in your glow. Sometimes
All right, that was Sometimes. And Rob, thank you so much for saying the kind words about this song. Yes, I did leave my camera on for that one. I don't know why I was turning it off in the first place. Just chilling, listening to music. Why would I turn that off? Anyway, yes, Thank you. I also like the key change. And fun fact, this song has 4 key changes, actually. So the very intro piano, sorry, not key change, tempo change. The very intro piano is really slow. We're talking about like 50 beats per minute. And it speeds up when the words start in, it jumps up to like 58 beats per minute. And then like the second stanza, we jump up a second time to like 62 beats per minute. And we're cruising at a good 64 beats per minute by the time the third stanza of the first verse rolls around. And it chills there at that tempo. And then, yeah, we jump to like 118, 120 beats per minute when the guitars come in and things go faster. Another thing I wanted to talk about that song is, so that's a 6-minute song. That's like a really long song. And my computer had a lot of trouble exporting the audio files to publish. And so there's a lot of times where you'll hear either the vocals or you'll hear the kick drum go a little bit out of phase, right? Where it like sounds kind of weird, it sounds kind of robotic. And that's because my computer was struggling so hard to export everything. It sounds really good in the software, in the recording software, right? But as soon as you export it, the computer goes crazy, has some troubles, and no matter how many times I exported it, it didn't matter. It came out sounding like the phase was off a little bit in certain places. But I think not very many people are able to tell, and the people that do have the trained ear to hear those things, they probably understand. It's just a long song with a lot of tracks, a lot of different instruments on it. So that makes sense. That one's called Sometimes. That one was, I don't know the story of that one. I think that was a case of the music came first, and then I decided that I needed to write some lyrics to go with it. Yes. And it had a lot of changes. The lyrics went under there was a lot of developments on that. I still wish I could have changed part of the second verse. To me, the second verse feels a little bit cheesy. The first verse I feel like is stronger, but I feel like I'm someone who's never going to be satisfied with the finished product of anything that I put out. So I decided I just had to post it. So that's that song. A little bit about the next song, Slow Burn. It was originally going to be the title track. It was going to be, the whole EP was going to be named after Slow Burn. And all of the other music that I was going to write for it was going to be in this style, but I ended up changing my mind a while back. I think that was I ended up changing my mind right around, I don't know, a few months ago, when I got the final version of Glowing Up back, the song that ended up being the title track of the EP. When I got the final version of that back, it just made more sense to make that the title. But that's that. Here's this. Enjoy. I'll talk more about this song once it's over. Let's have a listen. All right, so that was Slow Burn. Before I talk about this song, I would love to address the chat. So, first, thank you, Anthony. I really appreciate you being on here, man. I haven't talked to you in a long time. I hope things are going. I hope things are going well for you. Appreciate that you're taking the time to be here. So let's see. Corey wants to know, is it ever weird or cringy to hear yourself perform? Absolutely it is. And I think that's part of why I talked about earlier. For every song that makes a release, I've got 2 or 3 that don't make the release. And I think it's just because, like, I'll make the song, it'll get complete, and then I will listen to it again, like in a couple of months as I have, like, 5 to 10 songs ready. I'm thinking about how can I make a group of music that sounds similar and good enough to go together. And I'll be like, oh my God, why did I make that decision? Oh, why do I sound like that? Why did I sing it that way? Why does my voice sound like that? Yes, it absolutely can be. It absolutely can be cringy. But yes, I am very proud of the songs that I end up choosing. I would say the ones that I put out are the songs that make me cringe the least. I don't know. I really, really enjoy playing the music that I've written. I will play it all day long. I'll sit at a piano and I'll play for hours, no covers, only songs that I've written or making songs up in the moment. I love that. But then to hear that back again later, it does often feel a little bit embarrassing. But I think pretty much anybody who makes stuff is like that. Yeah, I would rather be playing it than listening to it. However, I don't have the right setup here in Germany to have played all of these songs for you. So we're listening to them together. Thank you for your question. Great. Great question. Thank you. Moving on, Not Cody's Girlfriend says, whoa, who's behind the sick guitar? Behind the sick guitar on this song is my friend Brandon Mock. We actually started a band together. We started a Brandon together in college. And Rob, who's also been commenting in this chat, he was also in that band. And we played some shows locally in Bowling Green. He's a sick guitar player. We both liked different music at the time that we made the band, and we have since both kind of evolved in our music taste, for better or for worse. We've changed in our music taste, and we've kind of changed in the same direction, where we still like the same music now. And so when we jam, we still know the same songs as we did when we first started playing, which is really nice. Yeah, he did a great job. He killed that guitar solo. I think he recorded it in Rob's studio. Rob is someone who's been in the chat. He was also in that same band. He's got a really nice studio. And Rob is actually going to be featured on the next song as well when we get to it. But yes, Brandon played the guitar here. And this is the first instance on this EP of somebody else playing an instrument. Until now, every instrument that you've heard has been me playing that song. Either I actually learned how to play the bass guitar, or I actually learned how to play the real guitar for that specific part, or I've got a whole bunch of really awesome synth and MIDI plugins that I've been using to play. So, yeah, that was the first time that you heard music on this album that wasn't played by me, and I think he crushed it. It completely fits the tone of this song. It was so beautiful. It was so sick. They sent me like 10 or 11 takes, and each one of them was a winner. Like, it was the most difficult decision on this song was which guitar solo take I wanted to play over that third chorus. You killed it, Brandon. Nice job. Corey says, changing his name to Not Cody's BF. Yes, very good. And his wife is mad that he asked about feeling weird or cringy about hearing myself. No, I think people like Tom Cruise, wow, he's a crazy guy, isn't he? He's wild. But he said that, so he's just an example of someone who makes things that are put out into the world, and he has never watched a completed film that he has been in. because he cringes. So I think it's a completely fair question to ask anybody who makes anything, even the people doing at the top level. I mean, Top Gun Maverick is the highest grossing film of all time that just came out. Not the highest grossing film of all time. The film to get the most money in its debut of all time. That's what it was. So he's creating things at the highest level, like unbelievably high level, right? And he still cringes anytime he sees himself on screen. So it's a completely fair question to ask, in my opinion. I got to go at the urgent care. Well, I'm glad it's nothing major, but it's your turn. Okay, well, good luck. I hope everything goes well. That's crazy. I appreciate that you were watching while you were in the waiting room. You totally could have skipped and watched later, but okay. That was Slow Burn. One more time about the merch. It's a little expensive, but that's because everything on this merch site is sourced locally. You buy this thing in Lubbock, Texas. A screen printer in Lubbock, Texas will receive the order, will print the design on the type of shirt or hoodie or phone case that you want and ship it to you. So that's why things are expensive. There's even a mug. Things are expensive because they're all locally made, so that way we can keep business local. That's important to me. Okay, but now for the next song. This next song is the last song on the EP. And it is called Next to Me, featuring Funflower. And this is weird, seeing my screen on two screens. Oh, it's featuring Funflower. Funflower is, I don't know, what would you call yourself, Rob? I'd say a folk punk duo. They are incredibly talented. They have an EP out on Spotify. No, a full album out on Spotify. I will even show you their page. Give them a shout out. Go listen to them because they are really great. Rob is probably one of the best lyricists that I know. He's just super talented. This album right here is really impressive to me. I felt every single song. And so when I was writing this song called Next to Me, I had the whole song structured out. I knew there was going to be this verse, I know there's going to be this breakdown, this verse, this chorus, this breakdown, this drum solo, this guitar solo. I had the intro, the outro, everything down. He says folk punk or cozy core. Yes, I love cozy core. Nice. That's just a great term for your genre. Nice. But yes, I had this all written down, but for the life of me, I couldn't get a second verse that didn't make me want to vomit. And I also just felt there was something missing. There was absolutely something missing from this song from what I had. So I knew I needed help. I called in the A-team. I called Rob, best lyricist I know, asked him to just see what he could do on this track. Just no pressure, just see if you can add anything to it. They sent me a rhythm guitar track. They sent me a ukulele track. They sent me a few vocal tracks, and it ended up being really awesome. I pieced it together, and it was gorgeous. I talk about this in a TikTok video that's scheduled to be posted in a couple of weeks, but the first time that I heard Rob's verse, I actually teared up. It's just really beautiful, and it feels really authentic the way that he sings it, and whoever he's singing it about. Midwest cozy core, exactly, Corey. So without any further ado, let's give a listen to the final song on this EP, and then I'll have, just a couple of minutes of closing words, and I'll let you have the rest of your Saturday afternoon back to you. I appreciate that you've all been here. Let's give a listen to this Next to Me, featuring Funflower, and I'm going to turn my camera off for this last one just because I received a text saying that the video is a little bit smoother when the camera's off. So here it is. We'll link back up in 4 minutes and 13 seconds. I hope you enjoy it.
place you belong. There's plenty of space, and I've been keeping it warm for you. Take a look at my face. Am I wrong? I don't wanna wait, but I'm not moving on from you. There's only one place that you ought to be, and baby, that place is right here next to me. You're all I want. You're all I need. Whatever it takes, I'll keep you next to me. You're all I want. You're all I need. For the rest of my days, I'll keep you next to me. There's only one place I can run to, only one escape when I am feeling lost. When I look in your eyes, I feel I'm at home. All my struggles and strife are washed away, and I know I'm not alone. There's only one place that you ought to be, and baby, that place is right here next to me. You're all I want. You're all I need. Whatever it takes, I'll keep you next to me. You're all I want. You're all I need. For the rest of my days, I'll keep you next to me. You're all I want. You're all I need. Whatever it takes, I'll keep you next to me. You're all I want. You're all I need. For the rest of my days, I'll keep you next to me.
Funny that the next song to be recommended is a song by the Black Pumas, because they're definitely a huge inspiration to me. I was actually gifted a record player, and the Black Pumas album was the first vinyl that I ever bought. So I really love them. Definitely an inspiration to me. So it's cool that YouTube paired us up together. But anyway, let's take a look at the chat. The chat's been going off during that last song. Rob agrees with Midwest Cozy Core. And G, who's the other person in this Cozy Core duo, G's going to love that. G's an awesome person. I've never met them in real life, I don't think, but met them virtually, seen Funflower's live performances that have been streamed during the pandemic. I think Graham's a really great person. Let's see. Corey's a Kansas native, grew up with me. That's true. And I appreciate that. Yeah, the music takes us back to that town. It's a really small town in Kansas, and there's uh, kind of a lot of good things and a lot of bad things about that place. So I would say if you can capture all of those good things and bad things together in one song, you have mastered Silver Lake uh, all in one. Great. Yes, cool. So that was the album. You can find it everywhere. You can buy merch for it online. The link is on the Facebook page. I can make a post with the link again. One thing before we go that I wanted to mention is that if you look at our Spotify page, you'll see that the label, the record label that's always posted down here, I don't know if you can see it on your screen, if your screen's not big enough, but it is More Like Take 5 Records. And More Like Take 5 Records is actually my younger brother's record label. That's Sam, my younger brother. He started his own label with a friend of his. And they called it More Like Take 5 Records because that was the name of their previous band that they had been in together. They've since renamed themselves to Wayne Street. They're also on Spotify. You should check them out. They're really good. But yeah, super proud of Sam. This is the first release under that record name, I believe. So they're now officially a record label. They've got things released under their name. They've got some great stuff lined up. Sam's a really talented mixer. Would like to say that Sam helped a lot with the mixing and the mastering and the editing of a lot of these songs. He taught me a lot about getting the right EQ for certain vocal ranges. He taught me a lot about getting the correct, effects down on various instruments. So a lot of the credit for this, for how good it sounds, can be given to Sam. And you can tell, like, if you compare this EP to my last one, Welcome to the End, this one sounds like it was recorded professionally. The last one sounds like it was recorded in my bedroom. They were both recorded in my bedroom. But this one sounds like it was done, in a professional studio with people who knew what they were doing, mixing it and mastering it. And I'm going to chalk all of that up to Sam. So he's a really talented guy. Yeah, that's that. I will take a look at the chat one more time, but I think that's going to do it for us. Thank you so much for spending the last hour with me, listening to my music. Cheers to that. Cheers to you guys. And I'm going to leave this live video up, so if you want to ever come back, watch through it again, you're welcome to. Otherwise, you're welcome to listen to me on Apple Music, on Spotify, on YouTube, wherever you want to hear it. And yeah, that does it for me. I hope you guys have a great afternoon. It's now 11 p.m. here in Germany, which means it's time for my bedtime. I hope you guys have a great and wonderful